Welcome back, Mushroom and Toad here, and in the video today, I'm going to be doing what's basically my first ever legitimate mod spotlight. We did a video on Lucky Block Pink a while ago, but that was kind of in a different way. If you want to check that out, I should have a card on screen. If I don't, it'll be down in the description at the very least. And I'm going to be showing off a mod that I feel kind of inappropriately has been titled the Useless Ores mod. Now, I'm going to be demonstrating in this that these ores that this mod adds into the game are extremely practical, and I'd recommend that anybody who's really into making a hardcore mod pack, or, you know, just a mod pack to play around with, I would recommend you get this mod because it will add so much to your life, and I'm going to demonstrate that in this video. Also, one thing I want to add, world generation takes a very long time, so be aware of that. It's because of, well, as you might expect, there's a lot of new ores. So, you know, small price to pay for this much greatness, as you'll be seeing here. Alright, much better. So this is what the world looks like. First of all, you're probably seeing this, what I initially called cake. Obviously, it's not cake, of course. It's litter ore, not only. And so if we place down this litter, and I'm just going to go into survival mode to demonstrate here. If you dig up this litter ore, you get a piece of litter. It's useless. I'm just looking for some of the useless ores. Here's one. It's called the item ore. This is going to be a good place to start showing off the kind of useful stuff that comes out of this mod. So if we just reach in here and grab ourselves a furnace, when you mine the item ore, you just end up with the item ore. And what do you suppose happens when you smelt it? Well, you of course end up with an item ingot. And what can you do with this item ingot? You may be asking. Well, this is where these things are great. They have two recipes. The first one, you put one in the crafting table, you get two back. You don't have to worry about finding a ton of item ore to get a bunch of item. You just put one item in the crafting table and you get two item. I mean, how much more item can you possibly want out of an item? The other recipe is if you put 3 into a crafting table, you get 1 back. So that way, it's purely customizable as to what number of items you have in your inventory at all times. So do enjoy that, because I think that is a really neat feature the mod creator decided to add, is with the item ingots. And that's about all there is to the item. It's just an item that you can use to make items out of. Make all the items you want, because let's face it, I just can't get enough of these items. They're just so great. Right? I mean, just look at that. Like, look at this. You just use it with the recipe book. Just click. It's just great. I love the item. I think it's an absolutely great idea and a great addition into this game. Ooh, and just a few meters away, we have the other purely custom ore added by this mod. It's called copper ore. Now, lots of mods add copper, and copper is actually at the center of the Useless Ores mod. Let me just pull this out here a minute. Throw some copper ore in, and now this copper isn't like copper you've seen from other mods. When this copper smelts, you're going to end up with... Alright, it's just called copper ingot, but you might see there, it's called Useless Ores Ingot Copper 1. There's a reason for that. When you put this in the crafting table, you're not going to get a block of copper. You're going to get copper ingot 2. And you put copper ingot 2 into the crafting table, you're going to get copper ingot 3. You put copper ingot 3s into the crafting table, you're going to get a copper ingot 4. You put copper ingot 4 into the crafting table, you're going to get copper ingot 5. And so on and so forth, all the way up through. Now, how many coppers do you suppose this mod adds? Well, 102. The last one actually being called the copper core. Now, this copper core is extremely crucial to mod recipes, and I'm going to show you why here right now. We're going to take this copper core. Actually, I'll just demonstrate with JEI. What you can do with this thing is you can make all the copper tools with it. So you want to make an axe? Well, you can make an axe. You want to make a hoe? You can make a hoe, pickaxe, shovel, sword, whatever you want. You can make it, and it's with the copper core. So you can't make these tools using regular old copper, as you might think. But like I said, this copper is very different from copper from other mods. So we'll just create ourselves a sword, a pickaxe, shovel, and the hoe, which is possibly the most useful of all of them. Now, I suppose I can start by demonstrating the usefulness of this sword, okay? The creeper blew up, but that's alright. We can still beat up this zombie. Oh, wait. We can't do that. In fact, you can't with any of the tools. That's right, because we don't condone violence here with this mod. This mod is all about being against violence, in fact. So, no, you're not going to be able to deal damage with these tools. They have negative attack damage. And, I mean, I think that is a really excellent way to go about it. It forces you to take a higher path in this game. Of course, I want the zombie dead, so I'm going to kill it anyway. Alright, and the next thing that we're going to cover here is the Copper Pickaxe. And now, you can't mine anything stone with a pickaxe. What were you thinking, trying to mine stone with this Copper Pickaxe? This pickaxe is way too powerful. You can only use it for things like dirt or wood. Yeah, it breaks after 2 uses, but you know what? It's still incredibly useful while it lasts for mining things like dirt. Although there may be faster tools, you're not going to get much fancier than a copper tool. Now, this hoe does exactly what you might expect. It does till the ground, but you can till a whole 2 dirt blocks with it. Now, I want you to find me one other mod where you can till 2 whole dirt blocks with it. Hoe. Right? I mean, that's just great. The shovel doesn't break anything dirt related. You can only use it to break other things like stone. Stone it'll break. The axe, very similar story. You can use it to break dirt. You can use it to break stone. You can't use it to break wood. But yep, as you can see, you can't break the trees with them. What were you thinking trying that? So that's it for the copper tools added by this mod. Now we're going to get into some of the more complicated things. And for that, I can come into this room here. And right away on the ground, what you're going to find is something called useless ores, rusty iron ore. It's not just iron ore, it's rusty iron ore. And there's a good reason for that. There's also a variant for each kind of ore in the world. For these, you've got your ash ore, your rusty iron ore, your fool's gold ore, red powder ore, fossilized blueberry ore, graphite ore, and dollar bill ore. Also, nether shard ore does exist. And I'll come back to the rest of these. Now, these ores are really special because I'm sure you saw here in the Creative tab that we have these useless variants of all the items. Now, you might think, oh, well, you just pop one of the ores in and out comes the item. But you would be wrong. What actually happens when you put the ore into a furnace? Well, you get a tier. Now, what can you use these tiers for? Well, you can smelt it. You can get an angry tier, then a sadness tier. So you have these whole tiers of tiers. You see, so you can make the shame tier from a joy tier. And then the final tier, it's the burnt tier, which you saw you get from smelting the acceptance tier. So yeah, that's what you do with tiers. You can get the burnt tiers, and you're going to see here, these burnt tiers are extremely, extremely valuable for you. And as is usual with this mod, I'm going to show you why. But one other thing I want to talk about is down here, while you're going through all this stone and stuff. Now, stone can get pretty boring after a while. That's why this mod adds in rocks. So you get rocks, it generates over stone. Now, you can't use it for anything that you normally use stone for, but cobblestone's got to have a little bit of difficulty in obtaining, right? Nether rock ore instead of nether rack. This generates over netherrack, also smelts into a tier. And finally, you have ender rock, which, I mean, that just makes sense. And again, you can make a tier with it. And by the way, rocks will also smelt down into the tiers. By the way, ruby ore is also an ore that generates underground. That's actually an ore. You can actually smelt it and get rubies. Which, I mean, that's pretty strange for this mod. And then the last one I want to talk about is nether copper quartz. That'll generate in the nether. You can smelt that down and you'll be able to get a piece of nether copper. Now, these are also used in other recipes, as you've been glimpsing all along, and probably also been wondering, well, how do you end up with all of these things, right? I mean, you want these awesome things. But for useless charcoal, you get that by smelting down a coal, and it's useless. But it's not totally useless because you can use it in other recipes. So we've got the recipe for the useless coal, which is done using a sword, which again, I'll show you where that's coming from. All of those blue tools, they're very special. You need a block of copper, and, you know, all of this stuff to get one useless coal, which can be smelted into a useless charcoal. Of course, that just makes sense. Then we've got the recipe for the useless iron ingot, which is this complicated thing. And this can be used in making useless lapis, which can be used in making both useless gold and useless diamond. We'll look at this one first. Useless gold can be used to make useless redstone. So you're seeing all the recipes over here. These are all the useless ores too. None of this stuff is actually vanilla that's in the recipe. And this is used in making the useless emerald, which is used in making the pixel ingot. So you do all that work, you get the useless emerald, you can finally make the pixel ingot, which, I mean, that is so reasonable. There's even a dragon egg involved, so I think this ingot's really balanced, and though it doesn't do anything yet, but one of the things we want to talk about is, where do you get these tools? Where do you get this? And where do you get flesh? Well, I can show you where you get flesh right down here. So you got copper zombies, and you've got zombies. And I'm going to get out a sword so I can kill these things. So this is the zombie. It's kind of creepy, to be fair. You kill it, it drops flesh. It's just an item. You can't eat it. I mean, it's just flesh. And then we've also got the copper zombie, neither of which burns in daylight. Also, these two seem to be hostile towards each other. That's interesting. And this one drops copper nuggets and copper ingots very rarely. Copper nuggets, you just get that by putting in a copper ingot, or you can smelt down any of the copper tools. Recorded a whole piece on this ore here. Totally forgot to hit start recording. So, this is called illusion ore. You can see it right over in here. And you can't mine it. You can't touch it. You can't go into it. And you can't blow it up. It just stays there in your world. Enjoy. Sandy sand will generate over sand. If you smelt this down, you will get sandy sand, because you weren't paying attention and not realizing that it wasn't normal sand. It's sandy sand, and it'll smelt into sandy sand instead of glass, and you'll just waste some coal. Don't waste coal on sandy sand. Two things left to talk about: custom structures and custom biomes. Hey, I found one! Here is one example of them. You'll see there's some items lying around. This is called a junkyard structure. And in these junkyard structures, you can find all of those tools, and also, I can't believe it's not flint, spawns here, in a hidden chest. Yes, right, somewhere around here, there's a hidden chest, and I am going to try to find it. Oh, here's one. That's a hidden chest. As you can see, we get some more item tools. We actually didn't get the I can't believe it's not flint. I can't believe it's not flint spawns rarely in the items. Oh, here's where you get the copper logs. They're just within here. So this is basically a copper bush. Oh, and that's the same reason the chest was broken and the items were laying around. It's because the tree generated there. So we've got the pickaxe. We've got the shovel. Got the ho-ho and the axe, and still no, I can't believe it's not flint. But I think you can see pretty well where you get these items from. Now, all that's left to show off are the custom biomes. And they are almost an entire mod in and of themselves. Alright, this is our first example of a biome. This is called the Wither Biome. Wither Mountains, specifically. And, yeah, as you can see, it spawns a lot of withers. This is a very, very deadly place to be. You don't want to spend much time here. Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you're invincible, wearing your maxed out draconium armor, and you're just like, oh yeah, I need a challenge, bring on them withers. If that's you, enjoy this place. If that's not you, it's not gonna be fun here. You get withered too just by stepping on the blocks. And if we go into game mode S, alright, once again, I forgot to hit start recording once again. So, you may have seen the wither ore block. It's called the Wither block. It's impossible to obtain it in survival mode. If you stand on it, it gives you Wither 2 and the saturation, that's just me, that doesn't come with it. The Wither 2 you get when you stand on the block. And that's basically all there is to see there. This, on the other hand, is the copper biome. It has lots of copper trees, lots of copper and copper blocks everywhere, so you can get all that copper you need when you find one of these. This is where the copper zombie's gonna spawn. It's gonna spawn here. None of the other hostile mobs will actually spawn in this biome, just the copper zombies, and we already looked at them earlier. Now, one last thing I do want to have a look at before I finish off this video is I want to go to the Nether, just to show you some of the cool things that are happening there, because again, this mod adds so much interesting, neat stuff. I don't know why it's called the Useless Ores mod. These are obviously very useful ores that you can apply to your game. If nothing else, the pixel ingot works as a good final game challenge to try to achieve. Okay, so here's your nether copper. That'll sort into your nether copper quartz. Wither ore blocks also generate down here. They generate over magma blocks, so if you're looking for those, this is where you'll find them. Okay, that's it. That's all there's to see in the nether. So, with that, that's all I've got. That's all that's in this mod. I'm pretty sure we're going to scroll through this list once more and make sure we're not missing anything. We've talked about all of this stuff. Also, there is the ice wall lull. You take ice like that, and you place down the ice wall lol. As you can see, it's just like any other cobblestone wall or something in Minecraft. There you go, the ice wall lol. Now, if you have to ask where the ice wall lol is from, you weren't at a certain live stream of mine. Link in the description. Go ahead, try to find it. But the ice wall lol has survived from that stream. Thank you for watching. This has been Mushroom Man Toad, and also, in the description, you're going to find links to the Lucky Block Pink mod made by the same creator. You're going to find links to this mod made by this creator, Kristen Stuffs. And you're also going to find links to the videos I've mentioned in this video. That's about everything you're going to find in the description of this video. This is an awesome mod. I would recommend you at least give it a try. It'd be good for mod packs. You know, this is just a great mod. So many practical new things added into it. It's just great. It's totally balanced to the item. Absolutely love the way that's been implemented. And yeah, that's going to do it. So thank you for watching. This has been Mushroom Man Toad. And item, see you in the next one.